Okay.
I'd like, my vision is for a city where our
We're at
children want
time.
to come back and live and work here.
Okay. Mayor Belzotti, you have 1 minute for a follow-up.
I know of a lot of young people that are coming back and live in this city. They're teaching at in our school system. They're coming back here to work. They're coming back. They live with their to be near their family. There are a number of young people that I hear from, and parents I hear from every day that tell me that their children are moving back here. So there are children and people moving back to the city and moving into this city.
Okay. Steve Bernard, do you have a question for Mr. Carpenter, please?
In spite of all the negatives that I hear about the city of Brockton tonight and the image that has been alluded to, I read a prospectus for revenue anticipation notes or bond anticipation notes that's worthy of Brockton getting an A rating or an MIG 1 rating. How is it that that Brockton can have such a glowing rating to raise money in the financial markets, yet such a low image throughout the individual's perspective? What I'd like to hear from you is, tell us, give me a glowing report about Brockton and what makes it such a wonderful place to live.
And this question goes to Mr. Carpenter first.
I think you had kind of a two-part question there, Steve. I think the reason why the reputation doesn't match up with our reserves is the fact that we can't get off the Boston TV station news every night with the latest stabbing or shooting. We've got to solve violent crime in this city before we're going to solve all these other challenges in front of us, because I don't know how we're going to convince people to come here and buy a home or to come here and open a business until we get off the front page of the newspaper and off the evening news with the latest shooting or stabbing. In terms of, I love this city. I'm here. You know, I didn't originally come here. I chose to come here, and I've stayed here, and I've raised my kids here, and I'm still here, and I'm not going anywhere. I love the community of Brockton. I love the people. We have great opportunities here in front of us, but what's holding this city back right now is crime and taxes. We're driving good people out of the city of Brockton with ever-increasing taxes. We're preventing businesses from coming into the city with the 20th highest commercial property tax rate in the entire state. You know, I love the city. I've just completing 4 years on the school committee. We've got a great school system here. We have great opportunities for young people. But at the end of the day, the future of this city, I think we're a city that's going to go one way or the other right now, and we need to take our city back, and we need to do that by taking back control of our neighborhoods and stopping the violent crime. Then we'll go on to fixing everything else.
Okay. Mayor Belzotti?
So we
1
have
minute.
an AA3 bond rating. That bond rating does not come easy. It's a lot of work between the CFO and I, working throughout the city to continue to provide folks the services that they want within the means that we have. And we have continued to do that, and we've done it successfully, and we will continue to work towards that. And we are very proud of that bond rating. What makes this city great and makes it a wonderful place to live is that we have an excellent school system, a place where people know they can, when they bring their children here and put them in the school system, that they're going to get a quality education. We have homes for first-time home buyers at affordable prices where they can live. We have accessibility. We have infrastructure. We're near the highway. We have museums and shops and all of the things that people look for when they're looking for a community. We have tremendous health care. We have 3 health care facilities. We have the neighborhood health center. We have what people need, and we are a great city, and we have wonderful, wonderful opportunity here.
In 1 minute, Mr. Carpenter?
Well, obviously, I don't think we're going to disagree about the fact that we both love the city. I think what we need to do is we need to tackle these issues in front of us to attract people to come here. We've got to do a better job with the vacant and abandoned houses in this city. You can't go, I've been walking out in the neighborhoods for 8 months. You can't walk 1 block in this city without finding at least 2 vacant, abandoned properties. We have to get that turned around. We've got to get the crime turned around. We've got to get the taxes down. That's what's going to attract businesses here with jobs so that people want to be here, live here, and work here. A lot more people live here and go elsewhere for their work than live here and work here. We need Brockton jobs for Brockton residents. That's why, as mayor, I would favor a residency preference in the hiring practices for the city. I think when the city has an open job, The Brockton residents should be at the front of the line for that job. That's one way we'll get people to stay here and live here. Let's help them get a fair crack at the Brockton jobs.
Okay. We have time for one more question from Morgan True, and that question will be directed to Mayor Belzotti. I'd ask the candidates in the interest of their closing statements to be as brief as they can on this final question. Morgan?
Thank you. Mayor Belzotti, you spent much of the campaign touting your record over the past 4 years and pushing for a third term to complete the work that you've already begun. But are there any new ideas, initiatives, programs, or projects that have not yet begun that could become the hallmark of your next term?
Well, we are working in terms of improving downtown, doing additional work. We want to start to bring developers in to show them downtown. We've started initial planning and working with the Urban Lands Institute on Campello. We know we have some work to do in terms of things like our navigation and our permitting guides to get them translated. We have a number of things that we need to do in order to continue to foster the additional business and growth that we need in the community to continue to provide the services to people that, and the services that people want and desire.
Mr. Carpenter.
Well, the mayor mentioned the downtown. I think one of the first things that I would do is continue to get it cleaned up and make it more desirable. Come down West Elm Street, go by the Elm Court Hotel, and watch the revolving door of prostitutes and drug transactions going on in and out of that place. Come down North Main Street into the downtown and find 100, 150 people loitering. How in the world are we ever going to bring back North Main Street in that neighborhood at that gateway to the downtown until we start enforcing code of life ordinances, including loitering and public drinking ordinances? So I think that's the first place to start with downtown. In terms of other initiatives, you know, I know the mayor wants to see these 2 downtown projects finished. I can assure everyone those projects will get finished, whether Mayor Belzotti or I are the next mayor.
Okay. I'd ask the audience, you're cutting into time now for the candidates. Mayor Belzotti, 1 minute for follow-up, and then we're ready for closing statements.
No, those projects will get finished, Bill, and they'll get finished under my leadership, and I will be very pleased when they do get finished.
Okay. I appreciate the audience's engagement, both obviously here in the conference center and subsequently at home in this the question and answer and response portion of our debate. Now it is time for closing statements, and again, by prior flip of the coin, in this case, Mayor Belzotti will go first with her 2-minute closing statement, and then it'll be a closing statement from Mr. Carpenter. Following that, Tony Simonelli will come forward to conclude the evening. So, Mayor Belzotti, 2 minutes, please.
I'd like to once again thank Massasoit Community College, BAMSI, all of our panelists tonight, and the Enterprise for having us here tonight, and to thank everyone who joined us and who will be watching at home. And as I mentioned at the start of the evening, I'm running to continue serving as your mayor because I have a passion for our city. I care about Brockton. I've spent a large part of my life standing up for our city and standing up for the right reasons. And we've stood up to work together to build a private-public partnership that's bringing about substantial development to our downtown. We've attracted new businesses like Market Basket, Crown Uniform and Linen, and Bernardi Auto Group, and we've helped existing businesses like Evans Machine Company, WB Mason, Mattress Maker, and Cape Cod Cafe continue to grow. We have stood strong in opposition to the power plant. We are standing together as a community committed to strengthening public safety, and we are investing in our infrastructure, in our schools, in our parks, our playgrounds, and in our streets and roads, and we are making sure to continue investing in our children and in our future. This city wasn't and has never been built by one person. It was built long ago by the collective efforts of many hardworking men and women, our families and our neighbors, and it was built by its people steeped in tradition of hard work, hope, and opportunity. This is the Brockton we know. This is our city, and the city is making progress. It is progress that has not happened overnight. We still have much more work to do, but it is this work for our community that makes it an honor and a privilege to lead Brockton each and every day as your mayor. My name is Linda Belzotti, and I proudly ask for your vote and support on Tuesday, November 5th. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Carpenter, 2 minutes.
I would also like to thank BAMSI and Massasoit Community College and the Enterprise for co-sponsoring this event, and a thank you to President Wall and the members of the panel. I'm here tonight to ask for your vote on November 5th because it's time for change in the city of Brockton. It's time to get Brockton property values going up and Brockton property taxes going down. It's time for Brockton residents to be at the front of the line when there are Brockton jobs to be filled. It's time to bring jobs and businesses back to the city of Brockton, and it's time to get the illegal guns and illicit drugs off the streets of our city. You know, I recently met a mother up on Wyman Street who's afraid to let her 2 young children play out in their backyard. I also met a senior citizen, a woman who lives at the Manning Towers, who told me that she's afraid to leave the building alone. She's afraid to walk outside the building alone, and she's even afraid to open her apartment door at night because the prostitutes and the drug dealers are actually coming right into the building. In recent weeks, there have been two separate incidents of police officers being shot at. I no longer want to live in a city where children can't play in their own backyard, where senior citizens are afraid to leave their homes, and where our police officers are being shot at. Brockton is a city on the brink. We can either hand the city over to the criminals, gangs, and drug dealers, or we can fight back. And as your mayor, I will fight back. That's why I have announced my 10-point plan to restore safe neighborhoods to Brockton. Brockton fights back. And that's why I've asked Bob Hayden, the former deputy superintendent of the Boston Police Department, to serve as my special advisor on public safety. We will relentlessly, aggressively pursue every gang leader, drug dealer, pimp, and thug and get them off the streets of our city. It's time to make a change before Brockton becomes the next Detroit. I believe we can do better. I know we can do better. I have a blueprint for Brockton's future. My name is Bill Carpenter. I respectfully ask you for your vote on November 5th to serve as your next mayor.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a round of applause for both the candidates, please? Both of them. Okay. Can I ask Tony Simonelli to come up and close the evening? And to the audience from Massasoit and me, thank you.
Before we conclude tonight, I'd like to express my appreciation to our co-sponsors, Massasoit, Brockton Enterprise, our respective debate committees, our timers, Marilyn Maurice, Natalie Klauser, and of course the gracious hosts here at the Conference Center, Linda Bean, Laurie Maker, and Dick Cronin, and the technical crew from Massasoit Community College. Thank you. You've done a great community service. I would especially like to thank the candidates, the incumbent mayor, Linda Balzotti, and Bill Carpenter. Thank you for your candor tonight in discussing the issues. I think this was a very good debate, and I appreciate you being here and your efforts. And finally, I'd like to thank everyone in the audience for being here. I'd like to thank you for your spirits, and I hope that you all go out and vote November 5th. Thank you and good evening.
Good job, guys. Good job. Good job, guys.